Say the relationship isn't there and the vendor absolutely wants to go to auction. Now, you yourself, you are an auctioneer. I've seen you in action multiple times. A lot of the times, the person who wins the auction day is the one who has the most money and can go the highest. But surely there's a couple of tips. Surely there's things you've seen where you went, I like that. Talk our viewers, talk our listeners through that. What do they have to do on auction day?
Well, look, a lot of vendors in this marketplace, agent, are wanting to go to auction. And the reason is, it's an extremely buoyant market at the moment, coming out of lockdown late last year with all that pent up demand and not being able to auction, not being able to show property. Everyone came out of the gates absolutely firing. A lot of buyers were cashed up, ready to go. And if I run through some sales over the last 6 months that my team has transacted, if I look at the price that some people paid and then look back today at what they paid, have they made any money over the last 6 months? Probably not. But I think it was more of an emotional transaction and a decision that they needed to make coming out of lockdown. But I think if you are going to auction, just be transparent. I think come with a budget. If you can come with a budget, and you know that that's what you're prepared to go to, stick to it. And I know it can get hard out there and it can get quite emotional as well. If I see you bidding against him and him bidding against me, the adrenaline starts to go. You go with a budget of $1 million, you might spend 1.1. We see it all the time. But I just think if you can go with a realistic figure in mind, do a little bit of research behind the scenes, maybe look in the area with some comparable sales that, may not have been advertised on a statement of information. It could be a great comparable for the home that's being auctioned. Maybe have a look at that, because there could be some sales that are higher than what's being sold and maybe more than sort of, the price it's being asked on auction day. So I think if you can sort of go with a little bit more comfort, with a little bit more detail on the day, and you go to auction and you're successful, great. But if you're not, you've obviously given it a red hot crack, and you've probably bid to a place where you're comfortable and you haven't stretched yourself. There'd be nothing worse than stretching yourself to that limit where you settle the property, you're struggling to pay back a mortgage or a loan, and your lifestyle changes.